There are hundreds of monks praying for you right now. Have you heard of that saying? What did that do to you when you heard this? There are hundreds of monks praying for you. The first time I heard this, I was like, whoa, this is powerful. I felt also seen and cared for in a strange way. As I already mentioned in another episode in season 1, I grew up in an atheistic environment. As a young child, I prayed before I went to sleep, but that disappeared when I became older. And prayer was something I started to relate with, asking a god with a white beard on a cloud to help you. That's how a lot of people where I grew up looked at God. And that way of praying just didn't speak to me. So I didn't pray. If you also feel that resistance even to the word praying, bear with me. I always thought prayer was about asking what you want so that it can become a reality. And that might be part of it, but prayer is also being grateful for what you already have. I've always been a grateful person, and I believe that in itself, gratitude is maybe the strongest way of praying. I've heard several times that the way how children pray can be very different from adults. They will say, "Thank you for the delicious food. Thank you that I could play with my friends today. Thank you that I go on a trip tomorrow. Thank you for the game I will get." So even though it hasn't happened, like the trip they will do tomorrow or the gift the child is getting, it hasn't happened yet. But they can say it in a way that it has already happened and that they are grateful for it. And that is where the power lies. Believing it has already happened instead of doubting that higher power that you're praying to. Trusting it, believing. Gratitude amplifies everything. If you can be authentically grateful for what you have, it will influence what you will get or what is coming. And the other way is also true. If you complain about what you have or don't have, I see that almost as the opposite of prayer. Why would more be sent your way if you can't already be happy with what you have? One of the things that changed a lot for me is that praying is not necessarily to that God with a white beard in the sky, on a cloud. Who you pray to is your choice. I think what's important to understand for all of us is that Spirit connects all of us. It's a higher force that we often can't grasp with our minds, but it connects everything, often in inexplicable ways. And the fact that it connects all of us means that Spirit lives within us. We are Spirit. I almost see it as a web. Imagine a translucent web full of this transparent light, like how you would have a spider web. And the threads of that web go through every one of us. It's dynamic. It moves. But this web also connects us all. That's why people say we are all one. We have separate bodies. We have different purposes. But through Spirit, we are all one. And I believe that when we pray to Spirit within us. It can be a different part of Spirit, different parts of Spirit, but we pray to Spirit within us. And simultaneously, it's also outside of us. When you pray, you communicate with something that transcends yourself, even if it lives within yourself too. You communicate with something that is bigger than yourself. You communicate to the sacred, with the sacred. Well, why would we pray, you may ask? I think the answer to this question is different for everyone. It can give you strength or hope. It can support you in difficult times, make you feel grateful. It can help things become a reality. It can make some challenges disappear. Some people don't believe prayer would help in this. I have experienced firsthand that it does. I think the best way to explain this is through energy or kind of quantum physics. There are different realities existing all at once. And when you pray, you concentrate your energy on the reality you want or the reality you have that you're grateful for. And what happens is that you give that reality energy. And because you give that energy through your part of the web, it affects the rest of the web. And therefore, your reality. It might sound woo-woo, but it's worth a try. How you pray is up to you. In different religions or in different regions, people might have their specific way of doing this. And some spirit beings respond specifically to particular songs or sounds. Instruments and songs are actually really powerful ways and tools of praying. I believe there are different ways you can have a good prayer, and I especially believe prayer has everything to do with your heart. Your heart is intelligent. It is a means of communication, so I believe praying should come from our hearts. So the combination of speaking words from your heart, honestly, authentically, what's going on for you, what you're grateful for, and what you want to bring in your life. Words are powerful. Add sound to it, and you add volume to your words. That's why speaking words is literally powerful. And that's why when you gossip or wish other people bad luck, it can actually have an effect. You are actually cursing them. It is really important that we take care of what we speak into existence, and what charge we attach to it. It's also important to mention here that praying from your heart gives the charge to your prayer. It's like feeling the emotions through your heart, and that's your prayer in a way. So it's important to be grounded and to really embody your prayer. If you say, I pray that I may have a safe trip, but you're actually super afraid of going on that trip, how do you think that prayer will be received? You will say some words, but the energetic charge will be that of fear, and therefore not trusting or believing. And in the universe, things are picked up energetically and through symbols more than through words. So if you would say that prayer about the trip differently, if you would say that I may enjoy the ride and that the trip may go smoothly, and you really practice your faith and you can already feel it in a way, that's how the trip will go, that will have another effect. It's important we try to embody and feel already the thing we're praying for. If not, we might transfer the anger, anxiety, despair, the fear we have in our prayers. The only exception for me personally in this is grief, because grief actually comes from love in a way. Have you heard the expression that grief is all the love you want to give, but cannot? It's love that has no way to go. And so when you're deeply grieving and you pray for ease and support, I believe that grief will be noticed and it can give a lot of support to pray. Most of all, I believe it's important to just be yourself when you pray. To be honest and authentic, to show your vulnerable side, to really show what's going on. Praying is not a time to put masks on or to boast or to let your ego run the show. It's a time to humble yourself and to recognize this higher power. So when to pray? I believe it's good to get a consistent rhythm in praying. I think we have a tendency to sometimes just pray when things are not going well. But again, as I already said, every day we actually have things to be grateful for. Every day. Every morning when I go for my prayers, I'm really like, good morning, I'm doing like this, like I'm doing so and so, how are you doing? I sing my songs, I use my bells, I say all the things what I'm grateful for. I apologize if I've hurt someone knowingly or unknowingly. And I mention what I want to bring in my life. And I ask for help because I know I cannot do this alone. Or at least that's my belief. My past self would have never believed that I pray every morning. And if you compare to Muslims, 1 time in the morning is nothing because they pray 5 times a day. And in a way, there is something very powerful to praying 5 times a day because I can literally feel my connection with spirit and with my higher self when I pray. It brings me back in alignment. So imagining doing this 5 times a day, whoa, yeah, powerful. There's just a lot that can be said too about concentrating energy towards something with many people at the same time. I know we live in crazy times and that a lot of people don't believe in the power of prayer. But again, talking about quantum physics to explain this, if we pray, if we concentrate our energy towards something together, we are giving that reality energy. Of course, a disclaimer, if I'm just gonna pray now for a red car without undertaking any action, the red car won't appear by itself. It's always a combination of prayer and taking action in one way or another, or at least that's my opinion. You're free to have your opinion. I always love that you listen to this or these episodes and decide for yourself how it lands for you and what you believe. I don't want people to believe everything I'm saying. I love people to discern for themselves. That is really so important. And especially if you have a dream that's living within you that you want to bring into the world, but you're holding back or you're afraid. One of the key solutions to solving this is to really learn how to trust yourself, how to trust your own idea, your own voice, your own opinion. If you're interested in learning this, if you want to make your own foundation, learn how to stand up for your own boundaries, how to deal with fear or criticism, how to speak up, Rooted Within might be for you. It's an online experience that I created. It's a multiple month journey that you can follow on your own rhythm. And when you go through it, it has the potential to change your life. It's really an experience, a whole journey. You will find all the information in the show notes. If you sign up for the waiting list, you will be part of the people who get the chance to sign up first once the doors go open. It would be lovely for you to join us. Thank you so much for listening to this episode about praying. I'm actually super curious. I would like to interact with you. Let me know how this episode landed for you. And if you also pray, how you pray. If you never really prayed, but maybe feel inspired to start praying or what you think of it, I'm super curious. So let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram, send me an email. You find my details in the show notes too. And I want to thank everyone who gave stars to Under the Baobab Tree podcast and reviews. It's really, really helping for other people to notice this podcast. And I'm so grateful. And tomorrow morning when I'm going to pray, I'm going to include all of you in my prayers. I'm going to send you blessings. I'm going to send you love. And I'm really going to take my time for that. But to conclude this episode, bless you. I love you. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.